Hi, everyone. I wanted to take a few minutes to share a story with you that I've seen repeated over and over, but I'm going to share it through this one example. What I find is it's very common between people in different types of organizations and different types of work. But for you, doing what you do, let me share this particular one. I got a call from an HR client. The manager called me and said, I know you're supposed to see our team on Friday, but they're really down and they really don't want to see you. Now, I'm kind of used to that. Sometimes I'm asked to work with groups that don't really want to see me, but usually it works out okay anyways. But this HR manager was struggling and I could hear it in her voice. And I said, what's up? She said, we just had an awful start to the week, and it just seems like it's piled up upon so many other things. Let me share with you a little bit about this company. This is a company that has not known how to lose. They have been gold star, top notch, doing some incredible work, and they just always seem to have it together. Now, one of the things that I see within companies is it ebbs and flows. Some days we're doing really well, stages and phases. Sometimes companies are great, sometimes they're not. This particular company had a really long streak of great leadership, an amazing type of work that they do, really good people, and just continued to be rock stars. But over the series of about 2 years, I watched them go from that to struggling in almost every aspect of their business. Now, part of my work from an HR organizational psychologist viewpoint is we get to unravel and kind of look at why. But this particular morning, this HR manager was struggling. And she said, well, I think we've hit rock bottom. And I asked, what does rock bottom look like to you? They had changed plant managers. They had had just tons of really hard change happen. And some things that had just disrupted, right, the team. She goes, well, this morning, okay, for anybody eating right now, just take a break. This morning, someone wiped feces down the bathroom wall. I think that's pretty much rock bottom. I said, I hear you. Now, when 2-year-olds do that, they're telling us a message. When adults in an employer bathroom do that, wow, we got some pretty tough stuff going on. So we finished up this conversation and I said, do you want to cancel on Friday? She goes, no, I think you need to come in. I said, I will be there. Let's just see how this goes. So I come in on Friday and this group is scheduled to see me for 2 hours. They all come walking in the conference room. There's about 8 of them. They slump into their chairs and did not look enthused to be there at all. Now, part of that I'm also used to. But this is a group of hands-on supervisors and leads. And I looked at one of them. Now, true story behind the scenes. I always look for the grumpiest person in the room. Now, I knew this group pretty well. I also knew who the informal leader of the group was, and he's pretty grumpy overall. Okay, I say that with kindness and affection as well. So I look at him and I say, how long are you going to give me? He looked at the others and said, do we have a choice? And I said, yep, you always have a choice. How long are you going to give me for this session? But here's the rules. Whatever time we commit to, you are all in. Like nothing else exists outside of this conference room. There is no client who has now moved in with you because you're doing so badly. There's no crisis out on the production floor. Nobody is sick. Nobody is called in. Like there is no emergency going on in this room. If there's an emergency out there and the building's burning, they'll come get us. But I get you for whatever time you commit to here, like present, digging in, nothing else exists. And he kind of sits back for a moment. He looks at everybody else and he goes, 45 minutes. So deal. I get you 45 minutes. This is what we're working on. Now, I got to tell you from a trainer standpoint, my topic that day was judgment and decision-making. Like, that is not sexy training material, right? Now, I think it's interesting, but not everybody does. So this wasn't some superstar curriculum. Well, okay, it was mine, but it wasn't this unbelievable topic. It was just what we need to do as leaders to get better. And I said, okay, let's dig in. So for 45 minutes, this entire group of people just got to dig into something else. And we did the work. I paused at 45 minutes, looked back at all of them and said, there we are. There's our 45 minutes. That's my commitment to you. They all looked at each other, and I went back to informal leader number 1, grouchy guy. And I looked at him and said, okay, that's my commitment to you, right? 45 minutes. And he pauses for a moment. He looks back at me. He goes, what else you got in there? Here's what I love about that story, and 100 more that I could tell you like it. When we get to set a heavy load down and focus on learning something that just fuels us or helps us do something better, we actually get a boost. Now, there are lots of ways that we can recharge and recover from overload and burnout. But for this group on that day, we just needed a little bit of time to set that load down and learn something new. So we continued that day. We went for 2 hours straight. They even wanted to skip the middle break. Here's what I believe. I know that they walked out of that room, heads held a little higher, shoulders a little bit more squared. Now, they took on some pretty heavy stuff when they went out, but it is learning. It is investing in us that gives us a little more energy for what we need to do next. My encouragement for you today and always would be, what is it that you need to give you that boost? Learning something new is a critical part of that. My hope is that you can take a few minutes to invest in you. Lots of ways that can help. As always, I'm also here to help you navigate this leadership and learning journey. Please reach out if I can do something that will make today a little bit better for you. Take care.